มัดต่อตีนค้างเฉยเลย
Nothing more, Professor.
I see. Like trying to get a sonnet from a streeler. Regardless, you must continue to build upon what you've learned. In that regard, I've asked your professors to help hasten your progress with some extra assignments.
Professor Ronan did mention something about that.
In fact, Professor Ronan will meet you outside momentarily to assign your first one. Now, regarding the trip to Hogsmeade I mentioned earlier, we've arranged to replace the supplies lost on your way here, including seeds, potion recipes, and spellcrafts.
Thank you, Professor.
And Mr. Ollivander will connect you with the perfect wand. You've managed your classes well with a borrowed wand, but you'll find the magic you cast with your own wand to be far superior.
Can you tell me more about the potion shop, Professor?
J. Pippin's Potions stocks a wide array of potions ingredients, although they rarely sell recipes. Professor Sharp asked that they have a couple of particular recipes on hand for you.
I've never heard of a spellcraft before, Professor. What is it?
A spellcraft is a recipe of sorts used when conjuring objects. I shall explain more about them when you begin working with transfiguration magic.
There's an Ollivander's in Hogsmeade.
There is. Most people are familiar with the shop in Diagon Alley. We're fortunate to have someone like him nearby. Mr. Ollivander is a genuine craftsman and highly skilled wand maker. I would trust no one else to pair me with a wand.
จะได้ไม้กระทาแล้ว
I'm eager to get to
Ollivander.
Hogsmeade.
Very well. I'd like you to make your first visit to the village with a classmate. Help you get your bearings. Perhaps Sebastian Sallow or Natsai Onai. I've noticed you spending time with them.
I'd like to go with Natty.
Excellent choice. Miss Onai is one of our most talented students. And she knows the area. She'll keep you well clear of any of Victor Rookwood's undesirables en route.
Rookwood?
A rather unsavory local. Best to avoid him and his associates, including his right hand of sorts, Theophilus Harlow, if you can. Once you've finished Professor Ronan's assignment, your friend will meet you at the castle doors. No time to waste. The sooner you complete your work, the sooner you can enjoy a butterbeer at the Three Broomsticks.
บัตเตอร์เบียร์ เสียงอะไรนะ
Revelio.
อ๋อที่ว่าเฮ้ยแมว แต่ข่าวว่ารูปแมวได้ โอ้แมวน้องน่ารักเอาแต่ฉันต้องไปทำเควสห้ามใจไว้
Ah, there you are.
You have a new spell to teach me, Professor.
Indeed I do, and an exceedingly useful one at that. The mending charm, Reparo. Fixes things right up, makes a broken object good as new in the blink of an eye.
It seems as if that might come in handy.
More frequently than one would imagine. As Professor Weasley mentioned, I am not the only one who will be teaching you spells outside of class in an effort to catch you up with your peers. A number of your professors have agreed to do so as well, but first, each shall ask that you complete a few preliminary tasks to hone your magic. I have arranged some for today. See them through and then report back to me. We will have you casting Reparo in no time.
Why must I first complete tasks to learn Reparo?
No lesson or lecture can compare to first-hand experience, and these tasks should provide you with just that. Such experience is invaluable when mastering any new bit of magic.
I'll start on the task right away, Professor.
Refrain page นั่นไง
This is the right area. I wonder what I can... Got it!
แอเคียวแล้วตรงนี้มีอะไรก็ไม่รู้
A flying page must be around here somewhere.
ไป
Brilliant!
I trust the preliminary tasks weren't too much trouble.
I completed the assignments, Professor.
Marvelous. You clearly know your way around basic charms. Let us give the old mending charm a try then, shall we? Remember to be deliberate in your enunciation and movements. I want to see some vigor. Now, wand at the ready.
Yes, sir.
yes sir
Remember, your wand is a conduit of your magic.
รีเพโรไว้ตรงนี้
That's it. Very good. If you would like to practice mending something, have a go with that broken statue in the alcove by the water. It allegedly symbolized heartbreak. Perhaps a jilted lover thought it too accurate and lashed out.
ลองเลย
Reparo.
Nicely done. Works like a charm, doesn't it?
อ๋อหน้าหวาดกลัวได้เวลาไปฮอกสมีธแล้ว
There's something in there. I just know it.
Hello. I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. I'm Lenora. Pardon me if I seem a little distracted at the moment.
Lenora.
Everyone thinks I'm utterly balmy. Samantha thinks I'm potty. But it's this painting. I never noticed it before. If I know Hogwarts, and I do, an empty frame doesn't appear for no reason. There's something more to this.
Have you gained any insights about the painting since you've been studying it?
I did discover that casting Lumos has an effect of some kind. But I'm not sure what to do next.
ฉันดูมอสเลย
Are there other empty paintings like this around the school?
Yes, a few. This entire place is somewhat of a riddle, to be honest. If I can work out the riddle of this one, I'll know what to do with all of them. As good a place as any to begin.
If I have the time, I may look. Could be intriguing.
I've been racking my brains long enough. I hope you'll have better luck than I have. Do come and find me if you stumble on something illuminating that solves the mystery.
Lumos.
Lumos.
That spot must be a clue. I should look around in case it's nearby.
ตรงบันได
Lumos. This looks like the location from the painting. What could be so special about it? Lumos. Let's get you back to your frame, little moth.
ผีเสื้อไงต่อเฮ้ยจ้ะ
I knew there was a connection. I should tell Lenora that I solved the puzzle of that empty frame.
ไขปริศนาสำเร็จ
People are always fussing about.
Lenora, I solved the mystery of that painting.
You did? How?
I'm not sure.
I'm afraid I can't tell you, Lenora.
Surely you jest.
You should have worked it out on your own.
You have nerve. Especially since I'm the one who told you about it in the first place. Imagine solving a riddle that I mentioned and
เอ้ยเธอไม่ใช่แค่ตรงนี้เองไขปริศนาเองแล้วกัน สร้างศัตรูแล้วหนึ่งคน
In my opinion, divination is a load of rubbish.
Revelio.
There's only one common one that everyone wishes.
I still can't believe that girl wrote her essay on shrinking.
Hello,
Yeah.
looking for me? Natty, I hope I haven't kept you waiting long.
Not at all. Professor Weasley tells me that you need to go to Hogsmeade. You must be eager to have your own things again. And to see the village.
I've been looking forward to it.
Good. Shall we set off? I intend to give you a first-rate Hogsmeade experience. was glad Professor Weasley asked me to accompany you.
Really?
ว้าว
Yes, I had planned to extend an invitation to you myself. I thought you might enjoy a butterbeer in the village. The timing of Professor Weasley's owl was perfect.
I'd imagine the Hufflepuff common room smells the most delicious on account of it being so close to
I cannot tell you how nice it is to breathe fresh air after being cooped up in ancient rooms. Grave mistake to take it as an elective class, believe me.
I believe you.
Though I suppose you would not really call it elective when your mother was the one who elected that you take it.
สวยมาก
Hogsmeade is beautiful this time of year. Everyone will tell you to visit at Christmas. But that's one of the few times of year I would rather be indoors.
Not much for the cold, are you?
Oh, I do not mind the cold so much, but it has taken some getting used to. I did not grow up around snow.
ยังไม่มีแม็กกวาด
Oh, wait,
ถ้ามี
over
นะ
here.
งั้น
I often spot lacewing flies in this area.
Oh, what's so special about them?
They are interesting to look at, but if you stew them, you can also use them in potion making.
เจ๋งดีนี่เก็บเลยว้าวแป๊บแป๊บแป๊บแป๊บแป๊บแป๊บ
Look, from the Forbidden Forest. Hippogriffs. I wonder if something startled them. I heard rumors that hippogriffs had been spotted nearby.
Do you think Poppy's already seen the hippogriffs? Absolutely.
Likely already named them too.
That's the Forbidden Forest on the left. It's off limits to students, as the name implies.
Why is it off limits?
The professors claim it is too dangerous. I think that calling it forbidden only makes it more alluring. Ah, there's Hogsmeade over the crest. Past that ruin. I would spend all of my time exploring if I could.
I confess I was surprised when Professor Weasley mentioned that you knew the area, since you're relatively new here.
She said that? She knows more about me than I had thought. I will say, while I certainly learn a great deal in class, much can be gleaned outside of the castle walls. How are you settling in? I remember the weeks that followed my arrival feeling quite strange. Everything was so new and unfamiliar.
I'm getting used to things. What about you? Do you finally feel settled?
I still miss my homeland, but it is beautiful here too. And getting out of the castle and exploring helped me to adjust quite a bit. Hogwarts has become something of a home now, I would say. Hopefully it will for you too. Mr. Moon! He is the Hogwarts caretaker. Looks a bit worse for wear.
แค่ทิศ
Hello, Mr. Moon. Have you met our new fifth year?
Pleasure. You might want to turn back, Miss Onai. Turn and run.
Is everything all right, sir?
Oh, it looked right at me. Eyes big as saucers.
What did Mr. Moon?
Jemmy, guys, ugly and airy and terrifying. I shall be at the castle where it's safe. Good luck to both of you.
คุณเมาหรือเปล่า
Oh, Mr. Moon, a demiguise. I think he had too much fun in the village. I will say that I have never seen him in such a state. Nearly there. There is much to see outside the castle walls, not just Hogsmeade. I am happy to explore whenever you'd like. Rumors being what they are about goblins and such, it might be nice to have a friend with you.
I'll keep that in mind, Natty. Thank you. Revelio.
And here we are. It is hard to know where to start. The Three Broomsticks is the place for butterbeer. And you can get any sweet you can imagine at Honeydukes. I could not choose a favorite shop here. It changes with every visit. I can tell you that you are certain to find everything you need in Hogsmeade. Professor Weasley said that you need to get potion recipes, spellcrafts, some seeds, and...
A new wand.
Of course! You will enjoy Mr. Ollivander, and I am keen to see what you will do with a wand of your own. You should be able to collect everything you need and still have time to explore a little as well. Experience Hogsmeade at your own pace. We can meet up in the town circle when you are finished. Enjoy yourself. I will see you soon.
นี่ต้องเป็นร้านขายไม้กวาดแน่เลยใช่จริงด้วยโอเคไปเอาไม้ก่อนไม้กระทา
Blooming beard, not again.
ได้ตังค์มาแล้วมีนักเรียนมาขโมยตังค์ค่ะ
I'll be right with. Ah, it's you. Just a moment, please.
Hello, sir. I'm looking for...
For a new wand, yes. It's about time.
Yes, About time.
Well, you're our new fifth-year student, are you not? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you are. Gerbold Ollivander's the name. But of course, you'll have heard of the Ollivanders, I'm sure. Finest wand makers in the world. It's a pleasure to meet you, truly. Now, come with me. Let's find you the perfect wand, shall we? No, not you. Yes. Powerful core. 10.5 inches. You might do. Here, give this one a try. Well, go ahead, swish.
บอกนิดสะบัดหน่อย
How odd. Once more, come on, really swish it. Oh dear.
นี่คือไม้กระทาที่ไม่ใช่สำหรับเราสินะ
Well, this isn't a good match at all, is it? We'll find you something, not to worry. No, not you. Perhaps. Yes. A rare wood, 13 3/4 inches, dragon heartstring. Let's give this one a try. Oh, goodness. Looks like it's back to the shelf for you. This is proving to be trickier than I had anticipated. How perplexing. Where are you? Perhaps you? There you are.
สีเขียวนั่นเหรอ
Yes. I think you might be the one. Here. Take it.
อันนี้คือที่ทำในพอตหมอได้อันนี้
How intriguing.
แล้วเราก็ปรับเองได้
Curious indeed.
How intriguing.
Curious indeed.
How intriguing.
Curious indeed.
How intriguing.
เอาไปทดสอบเลยถ้าทดสอบกันเนี่ยสองหน้าเนี่ย อยากเปลี่ยนแค่รูปร่างอะ
Curious indeed.
แต่ไม่สวยแต่อันนี้สวยสุดแล้วจริง
How intriguing.
สีไหนดีเข้มมันสวย
Curious indeed.
ก็คือเหมือนเดิมเลยดีกว่าอันนี้แหละ
What do you think? Extraordinary. Another wand, another beginning of a bright and magical future. Now, how did that feel?
Good. Different. I sensed a sort of surge of some kind.
A match. Your connection seemed particularly powerful. The right wand will learn from you, just as you learn from it.
I'm eager to try it out.
I would imagine so. A wand with a dragon heartstring core is capable of dazzling magic. And the bond between you and your wand should only grow stronger. Do not be surprised at your new wand's ability to perceive your intentions, particularly in a moment of need.
That sounds wonderful, Mr. Ollivander.
I'll let you get to it. Do come and see me again if ever I can be of further assistance.
ได้ไม้ที่ใช่ต่อไป นั้น มันเขาได้ปะเนี่ยก็ค่อยมาดูอยากทำไม่ได้แน่เลยนั่นไงknock.
Welcome to J. Pippin's Potions.
ขโมยของต่อนะว้าวร้านขายปูชิ้น
Pardon me, sir.
Oh, thank goodness. When I heard the bell, I thought you were Miss Lawang. Not that she deigns to come here. Though I don't believe I've seen your face here before, either.
It's my first time in Hogsmeade, actually.
Is it really? Well, Parry Pippin at your service. And this is J. Pippin's Potions. Potions for all ailments. You'll have read it on the sign, of course, but Grandfather always made me say it in full. How may I help you today?
Professor Weasley sent me to collect some recipes. I'm new at Hogwarts.
You're the student she sent the owl about. I set your things aside immediately. I suspected if you're anything like I was at your age, you'd want your potion supplies. Is it not the most fascinating art, potion making? Rivals anything you can do with a wand, I've always said.
Are potions really that versatile?
They may not be as showy as spellwork, but make no mistake, they are just as powerful. They can heal, destroy, protect. You'll discover all of this soon enough. As it's your first time in, I should mention that it's not just potion recipes I sell. I also offer ready-made drafts for all manner of uses, and I unveil new ones from time to time. Pop in when you can so you don't miss out on anything. But for now, let's get you those recipes, shall we? What can I do for you today? Feel free to take a look at the rest of my inventory, or come back another time if you're in a rush today.
มาไม่ตังค่ะ ลองเอาไปปรุงเองแล้วกันไม่ต้องซื้อ ไม่ร้านยังไงอีกร้านนั้นนี่ช่องนี้กันใกล้ค่ะ
Well, hello there.
Pardon me, sir. I'm here for the seeds Professor Weasley arranged for me to collect.
Ah, the dittany for the new 5th year. I take it that's you then. Merlin's beard. Starting Hogwarts as a 5th year. You must be positively reeling from it all.
Not at all. I'm choosing to see it all as one big adventure.
Well, bravo. Not
Not
everyone has the temperament to take things as they come. Name's Timothy Teasdale, by the way, and this is my shop, the Magic Neep. I keep the cart out here because I like a good chat. Can't very well be in the thick of things if I'm hidden away inside now, can I?
I suppose not.
In addition to seeds, I have plenty of plants. Grow everything myself. My speciality is potion ingredients. Even Pippin purchases from me. But what say we get you a packet of Dittany seeds? Let me guess. You're after something fresh.
ติดใจสิ
Do have a look around. Plenty of ingredients to pique your interest, I'd wager.
Revelio.
Ada Epson ini. Wih, kok. ขันตอบด้วย อ๋ออันนี้เดินไปไหนต้องไปตรงนี้
I fell asleep in Transfiguration once. Professor Weasley woke me up and I had drool all over my wand. Couldn't transfigure my way out of that.
I'd like to do
Find myself scurrying.
An inquiring mind.
คนทุกเขานี่ค่ะว้าว
Pardon me, sir. I'm here for the spellcrafts Professor Weasley ordered.
Matilda's student. I thought I might be seeing you soon. I am the proprietor here, Thomas Brown. I take it you've had a conjuring lesson then?
I'm afraid I haven't yet, sir.
Ah, but you will soon enough. It is magic at its purest, creating something out of nothing. Of course, it is not without complexity, but that is where my spellcrafts come in. Stay the course, and you could soon impress even Professor Weasley.
That's certainly something to aspire to, Mr. Brown. I look forward to that day.
And I, too, seeing it. Spellcrafts are incredibly useful for conjuring unique items like custom pieces of furniture or decoration. But I shall let Professor Weasley do the teaching. For now, let's get the spellcrafts you need. A potting table and a potion station, yes?
I believe so, sir.
Good. Nothing like being able to grow your own ingredients and brew what you want when you want. Let's have a look. Let's look at what we have, shall we? If you're interested, feel free to take a look around at the rest of my inventory.
Well, that's everything. Better go and find Natty.
นั่นเองตัวฉันสร้างสิ่งนี้อะไรตัวอะไรเฮ้ยดีนะที่แวะมาเฮ้ยไปไหนแล้ว
Revelio.
How is standing behind a till counting nuts and sickles considered work.
Revelio. Revelio.
ไม่นั่นก็จะเป็นไหนนะ yeah.
Revelio. I have everything. I see what you meant about not being able to pick a favorite shop.
We should walk around a bit more. Perhaps today is the day I finally pick one.
เกิดอะไรขึ้นอย่าบอกนะว่า
Bombarda! Draw it away from the building! Away from the village!
บ้าเหรอชุบโอเคเลยโอ๊ย
Are we weakening him at all?
Keep at it! We have to wear him down! What was that?
I was trying to beat him at his own game.
I like it! Do more! Look! He's faltering!
Took him long enough.
We need to make sure he stays that way!
Goodness! A second troll! Did you two take on a fully grown troll? By yourselves?
I suppose so. It's all a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Merlin's beard! Are you all right?
We are, and we were glad to help.
I'd say help is a bit of an understatement. Nerve like that. The makings of an aura, if you ask me. If you are unharmed, perhaps the two of you wouldn't mind helping me put a few things back to where they were.
Of course, officer.
Singer. Officer Singer. And thank you, again.
เรามันเก่งเจ๋งนี่อะไร
Oh, hello there. A moment if you would.
I will see what he wants.
ต้องการอะไร คุณต้องการอะไรจากฉัน เข้ามาจิบเลยอร่อยเลย
Revelio.
ข้างในมีกล่องไม่เปิดไม่ได้หรอกเปิดไม่ได้ อะไรอันใดเลยว้าวเห็นได้เบอร์โน้แต่ละนี่คือร้านขายแฟชั่นหรือเปล่าชื่อไอ้ฮูดนะคุยรีแพร์เดดัมมี่เราคุยกับคนนี้ไม่ได้เลยโอเค
Prepare. They didn't do enough damage. Revelio. Reparo. Ah, good as new. One less thing for Officer Singer to worry about. Revelio.
Ôi, mèo, ôi, lại mình sửa lời. Sửa đau bó. Nó đang chân này. Đại chữ chai.
We were just talking about you.
Hello, sir. I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to introduce myself, Augustus Hill, clothier extraordinaire. I should like to thank you for your remarkable bravery in fighting those trolls, and not to mention your help restoring Hogsmeade to its rightful state.
I was happy to help.
Frankly, you deserve an Order of Merlin. But I can offer you something much more useful. I own Gladrag's wizardware, and among my inventory are some unique items that afford certain protections, as it were. Life-saving protections. And as I suspect this won't be your last dangerous encounter, I'd like to give you one such set of robes, in thanks for what you did today.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. That's very generous of you.
It's the least I can do. Now, let's try this on for size, shall we? Plenty for your perusal today. Take your time.
เขาให้ชุดฟรีอุ๊ยอันนู้นดีกว่านะโอเค300อุ้ย Legendary 500ถ่ายเลยละกัน เก็บตังค์ไว้ก่อนดีกว่า
What an extraordinary introduction to Hogsmeade. I would say that we, and you in particular, have earned at least one butterbeer. Shall we head to the Three Broomsticks?
Sounds like a good idea.
Wonderful. Just down this way then.
I sell even more battle-worthy items, should you be inclined. Your most...
เดี๋ยวมันเปลี่ยนอุ๊ย อันนี้สวยเนี่ยที่ได้มาจากพรีออเดอร์ไปเท ใส่ชุดนี้ชุดนอนเลย โอ้ยอย่างเท่ชุดนี้ อ่า โอ้เท่เลย ใส่แว่นกันดีกว่า
Peruse my shop at your leisure.
Assuming it is not too busy, you might even meet Serona, the owner. She is a charming hostess and a powerful witch. Good one to know.
You said you could get to the child when they came to Hogsmeade. That all you needed was a distraction. I gave you a distraction.
I just watched a student take down your distraction. Who's this
ตามล่า
child?
เราเหร
What
อ
are you not telling
โอ้
me?
All you need to know is that if you cannot get to the child, then you have no value to
โดน
me.
หมายหัวตั้งแต่เริ่มเกม
Let's go.
Did they see us?
I don't think so.
What was that goblin doing with Victor Rookwood?
Ranrock is working with Rookwood.
The goblin from the Daily Prophet. I knew I'd seen him somewhere. Quickly,
Yep.
let's get inside the 3 broomsticks.
It's a treat to see you, Lodgok. I shall let you know if I hear anything.
Thank you, Serona.
You be well.
อุ้ยตัวละครทรานส์หรือเปล่า เจ๋ง
Now, what can I... Oh, there's a face I haven't seen before.
It's my first time here.
ครั้ง
Welcome.
แรกค่ะ
Butterbeer's on me.
โอ้เอาให้เราฟรีด้วย
Heard about the attack. I shall be looking in on the other shopkeepers and residents shortly. Glad to see you two escaped injury.
Thanks to this one, single-handedly took down a troll.
Is that right? Well done.
Thank you for this.
My pleasure. I will say, trolls in Hogsmeade. That's never happened before. Something's not right. The only brutes we usually have to deal with are... How timely.
Was that Lodgok I saw leaving just now? Your clientele's not what it used to be, Serona.
Not to worry, Victor. Once the two of you leave, the caliber of my clientele will greatly improve. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Theophilus.
Come now. No need for theatrics. I'm only here for this one anyway.
My friend is enjoying a well-earned butterbeer.
Only want a quick word.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, my friend is busy.
One would think you all had enough bloodshed for one day. Come, Theophilus. The 3 broomsticks isn't what it used to be. Let's take our galleons elsewhere. Can't drink butterbeer forever.
เดี๋ยวเจ๊หน่อยเป็นไงล่ะ
Seems you've made an unfortunate enemy. Watch your back. Rookwood and Harlow are worse than any troll you might encounter.
Trolls, Ranrock, and Rookwood. What are you not telling me?
I promised to tell you everything. But it's perhaps best I do that later.
I think that now might be a good time to head back to the castle.
บัตเตอร์เบียร์กินไปนิดเดียวเองว่ะโดนขัดจังหวะขอขนมกินด้วยค่ะอร่อยสวยกินเรียบ
Revelio.
ใช่ใช่ไหม ที่สองมีอะไรไปดู หันแน่
Revelio.
ข้างบนก็มีอีก เรา
Revelio.
ต้องไปเรียนอาราโฮโมรากันด้วยนะ
I am certainly glad Sirona was there.
And that she isn't intimidated by thugs like Rookwood and Harlow.
I want to understand what's going on, and I hope you will tell me. But for the moment, we should return to the castle. Professor Weasley will certainly hear about the troll attack soon if she hasn't already. I don't want her to worry.
เดี๋ยวค่อยบอกนะจ๊ะ เอาอ่ะแล้ว
Revelio.
Come and see me มีอะไรในล็อกเก็ตอย่างนั้นเหรอ
Come and see me. I've discovered something in the locket we found at Gringotts.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
I know. Not much for soggy sandwiches.
สวยมากชอบสีฟ้า
Revelio.
Revelio.
น้องแมวเราแวะรูปจักหน่อย
Revelio. Revelio. Professor, I'm glad to see you.
And I you. Thank Merlin you're in one piece. I heard about the attack. Trolls in Hogsmeade?
Sir, the trolls were wearing armor. It had that dark glow, like the dragon collar.
Goblin silver. Ranrock used it to control the dragon. But how? And why send trolls to...
They were there because of me. I overheard Ranrock talking with Victor Rookwood.
Ranrock was in Hogsmeade? With Rookwood?
The trolls were Ranrock's distraction so that Rookwood could get to me. And he would have, had Serona and the patrons of the Three Broomsticks not intervened.
This is grave news indeed. If Ranrock's goblins and dark wizards are after you, they want what we found in that vault.
Speaking of the vault, do you think that Ranrock is working with any of the goblins at Gringotts?
I do not. Gringotts goblins aren't typically the friendliest of beings, but they have a great deal of integrity. No, I dare say after what happened to that poor banker, the goblins at Gringotts are no followers of Ranrock.
They're after the locket. You said you discovered something in it.
Yes, yes. I discovered an inscription. When I read it aloud, this map appeared. Clever enchantment. It's a map of Hogwarts, to be sure, but I do not know where it leads.
It leads to the library. The restricted section, to be precise. And a bit beyond. I see traces of magic there on the map.
I suspected you would see something.
Shall we go?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I'm eager to discover what we may find there as well. But if our experience at Gringotts, let alone what happened to Miriam, taught me anything, it's that the path we're on is terribly dangerous. I'd like you to work with Professor Hecat a bit before we continue.
But sir, how dangerous could the library be? Perhaps we're only after a book.
Perhaps we are only after a book, but we should be prepared for anything. Once you've honed your defensive magic further, come and see me. I'll let Professor Hecat know to expect you.
What are you up to now?
Revelio.
นี่อะไรอ้าวอันนี้คือนี่อีกแล้วไม่ใช่โปเตโก้
Lumos.
ภาพเป็น
I'm sorry.
ผีตีกันภาพเพนนี่อยู่ไหนเอ่ยเสา2 ต้น
Revelio.
Seeds I'm after. I'll always go to the magic meat. I've upset magic.
ดูไรเด้อ
Might some kind soul help?
Never forget what that Hufflepuff girl said in 1421. What lovely stone. Oh, that's class, that is.
Ui. Ui. เจอไอ้พวกเนี้ยทำอะไรอ่ะ
If only a new student were to help me with my sad predicament.
Are you alright?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone
ทำไมโดน
hates
เกลียด
you.
ล่ะ
Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Gobstones. Sounds like a fun challenge.
That's what I tried to tell everyone. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Rather an overreaction on their part.
I'll say. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
Do you have any suggestions on how to get your gobstones down from their hiding spots?
If I knew that, I'd get them myself. Whoever hid my gobstones that high got up there somehow.
น่าใช่แอคเกียวหรือเปล่า
Haven't you any friends at school?
Not really. Natty said hello once, but not a word since.
Oh no.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
Revelio.
เดี๋ยวนะคือต้องตามหาภาพนะครับ ตึกมันอยู่ตรงไหนเอ่ยดูไม่แป๊บ
Revelio.
ดูยากจังเลยนะ
Sure he's in at the present moment, the headmaster. Would be sure to tell him how very much...
Revelio.
เพื่อกันละกัน
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
หาตั้งกี่อันนะฮะเฮ้ย
Oh, that's one of Zenobia's gobstones. I hardly see what all the fuss is about.
Revelio. Revelio.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
ให้บันไดขึ้นแล้วห้องเรียนพยากรณ์
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I hope please included.
ชี้ไปตรงนี้
Revelio.
ไม่ถึงอ่ะ
Revelio.
โอเค โอ้สวยจัง
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Off on another adventure.
Revelio.
ไปไหนแล้วอ๋อ Thank you
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for some stones.
Revelio. Reparo.
Lumos.
Heal. Leviosa.
Levioso ใช้ทุกคาถา วู้
Revelio.
ช่วยอะไรอ้าวพัซเซิล15 23 19มันคืออะไรอ่ะ
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Revelio. Heal.
That's the last of Zenobia's gobstones. I should go and see her.
Revelio. Revelio. I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
งั้นเราวาร์ปได้ไหมนะตึ๊ดกดผิด
I already have the wormwood. What about the shrivel thing? Bet you don't have the porcupine quills. No, I do. I have.
I hope you've had more luck than I did tracking down my gobstones.
Hello, Zenobia. I've found all of your gobstones.
Really? I didn't think it was possible. However did you do it?
Common sense and basic magic.
Well, may I have my gobstones back?
ไม่ อยาก
Of course. They are yours after all.
Oh, how wonderful. I shall dedicate all of my future victories to you. Speaking of which, now that I have all my gobstones back, I wonder if anyone in the common room would be up for a game.
บอกความจริงที่ไม่ได้
I'm sure they'd be willing to play after the trouble spent getting them back. It's a fine idea.
Isn't it? Oh, we'll have so much fun together laughing as all the losers get sprayed, which won't include me. Very well, off I go. Wish me luck.
อย่ามาท้าฉันแล้วกัน ไปเรียนอินเซนเดียโอเคไม่ใช่คนเดียวเหรอ
I believe we have some matters to discuss.
I'm here about the new spell you wanted to teach me, Professor.
Good. Professor Fig indicated a certain urgency to you completing your defensive magic assignments. As such, you are to learn Incendio, the fire-making spell, handy for lighting torches, burning away spider webs, and, when necessary, defending against those who would wish to do us harm.
Sounds versatile.
Quite.
Versatile.
But before we get started, I'd like you to complete a few tasks. You may be surprised by some of them. Astonishing how much students don't think their professors know. When you're finished, come and see me. Then we shall begin working on Incendio. You know where to find me once you've finished.
ต้องไปสู้โอเค
Seems crossed ones isn't as secret as it's believed to be.
Oh, ไม่มีที่วาร์ปโอเค
Revelio.
สิ่งนี้คืออะไรกดมันยังไง
Let us keep our heads
Leviosa. Revelio. Leviosa.
What are you up
ที่
to
วาร์ปอยู่
now?
นี่นี่วะ
Ready for another round?
I think so. We shall see who shows up.
There's no one in the school I'd be afraid to duel.
I know, Sebastian. I know.
รับรองสู้กับหุ่นกระดิ่ง
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
ให้มันจะสอนสู้เดี๋ยวท่าอย่างที่
Nicely done.
Leviosa.
Excellent form.
Leviosa.
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of crossed wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Brilliant. Are you dueling with a partner?
Yes, Sebastian.
Then let's get to it. Ready to get thrashed? Apologies in advance.
3 คนเหรอมาพี่โกงนี่หมาหมู่ไอเก็ตล็อกคิว
Ringo!
Potato!
นี่แพ้โลกอะไรกดผิด
Come on!
Potato.
Leviosa!
Leviosa.
There goes my way.
You're better than that.
Act like a winner.
Is that all you've got?
I'm the one. What a duel. Bravo.
I gave it my all.
You did indeed. The other duelists have already taken notice of you.
ไม่เหมือนเมื่อวาน
But after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning. Or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Assignment's all finished.
awful time in potions the other day. Someone had scribbled all over the pages of my book of potions. The margins were as black as soot. And it was a copy from library. Scribbler's going to have me for that.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide.
I trust Mr. Brattleby was able to accommodate you and that you found success in your endeavors.
I finished all of the tasks you gave me, Professor Hecat.
Glad to hear it. Then you should be ready to learn Incendio.
Should be, Professor?
Yes. I'm sorry to say, I visited enough careless colleagues at St. Mungo's to assure you that fire is a fickle servant. Your spellcasting has impressed me thus far, but please maintain focus. I would rather we not end today's lesson with your robes aflame. Let us begin. And remember, focus on the proper wand movement. Concentrate, and keep your wand steady.
Hi.
Good work.
Incendio!
Getting it. Keep at it. And do try not to incinerate yourself.
ครูเดลถ้าประมาณนี้ถึงไหมนะ
Setting things ablaze is certainly cathartic, isn't it?
Incendio!
โอ้ยตกเป็นรอย โอเค
Revelio.
มันคือแถวๆนี้วะแล้วค่อยดูแล้วกันนั่นอะไรนะ
Revelio.
มาให้ดูไม่ใช่
Revelio.
คืออะไรไม่รู้เฮ้ยนี่ไงอยู่ตรงนี้คือภาพวาดนี้เลยไปชมกันแล้วกัน
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Revelio.
Ah, there you are.
นอนรอ น้องนอนรอเลย
Hello, sir. You'll be pleased to know that I worked on my defensive magic with Professor Hecat.
So I hear. She tells me you've taken rather well to your new wand. You must continue to work with her and your other professors to improve your skills. That said, I don't wish to postpone our visit to the library any longer. So, shall we proceed?
Fig! I have work for you. Come.
Headmaster, I'm with a student and my schedule
Your
is...
schedule will wait indefinitely, as will your student. I would think that after all the trouble you caused me with Osric, you'd be eager to make amends. My office, 5 minutes.
ช่างเป็นผู้ใหญ่ที่เอาแต่ใจจริงๆเลยนะ
That man is exasperating. Unfortunately, our trip to the restricted section will have to wait a bit longer.
But, Professor...
We have no choice. It would be unwise to provoke our illustrious headmaster further. I shall find you when I've completed whatever toils I must endure.
น้องอุตส่าห์นอนรอ
Revelio. Revelio.
ได้เป็นนิสัยก่อนนะคะวิ ของตกแต่งไหมก็ได้เจ๋ง บนชั้นลูกล่าง แว่นนี้ก็ดีนะ ไปคุยกับเซบาสเตียน
Sebastian mentioned sneaking into the restricted section. Perhaps he'll have an idea.
Revelio. Sebastian, there you are.
I was hoping to see you. I was in the Three Broomsticks after the troll attack and saw what happened with Rookwood and Harlow.
Not many students have Victor Rookwood's attention. What was that all about?
I've never even met him. Perhaps he mistook me for another student.
If you say so. I won't press you now, but you will have to tell me what's going on at some point. You might need me. So, why were you looking for me?
I need to find something for Professor Fig, but it's in the restricted section of the library.
He can't get it himself?
He was called away by Black at the last moment. I suppose I could wait to get a note from him, but...
You want to show some initiative.
Precisely. You mentioned being clever enough not to get caught in the restricted section.
And I am. Meet me outside the library tonight, and tell no one.
What will happen if we're caught in the restricted section?
Detention, no doubt. But a word of caution or two will help. For one, avoid Peeves, the poltergeist. Aside from wanton destruction of property, he loves nothing more than telling on the likes of us.
How concerned should I be about the librarian?
Madam Scribner doesn't take kindly to clandestine activities taking place amongst her precious books, so do all that you can to avoid her.
She and I have had our entanglements, but I can hold my own against her. You may not be so lucky.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll meet you later.
แล้วเจอกันจ้าพ่อหนุ่ม
See there? That's the door we need to reach. And those annoying prefects would love nothing more than to rat on us to Scribner, so don't let them see us. Understood?
I can be sneaky. Let's go.
Hold on now. There's a spell you should know. The Disillusionment Charm. Good for getting places you're not supposed to be. Cast it and you'll appear as little more than a trick of the light, just as long as you keep your distance and stay quiet.
You mean I'll actually be able to turn invisible?
Something like that. It's not as foolproof as a cloak, but those are expensive. And spells are free. Give it a try.
เอากระถางล่องหนจอดตรงนี้เลย ไม่ให้กดปุ่มอะไรนะเอามาแทนไม่ดีเปลี่ยนหน้าไม่ได้หรอ
Silent as a grave.
Sai ở đây khác, sai ở đây khác. Đơn làng mới đa đó xin. Dạ, xong sáng, dạ. นี่คืออะไรเฮ้ว่าไงไม่สงสัยเลยเหรอวันนี้ไปไป
Blast! The librarian's still here. Quick, behind the bookcase.
Okay.
Damn! You told me the librarian would be gone by now.
I said usually, but it'll still be all right. Do you see her desk behind me? The key is in the drawer of that desk. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'll create a distraction to draw her away. You focus on getting the key. I'll meet you outside of the restricted section.
You distract, I get the key. Understood.
I said I'd get you in, and I always keep my word. Trust me.
Is someone there? Is that you, Peeves?
The key. Here it is. That wasn't so difficult after all. Now, to find that book.
Oh, that one's charmed to look more useful than it is. It's fooled me twice. Never judge a tome by its cover, I say.
Okay.
Ghost, don't let her see you.
นี่แหละผีนี่อะไรอ๋อไม่นะผีมันมองเห็นเหรอมันเป็นนู่นเป็นนี่อย่ามันจะนู่นซะ
Should be in the clear now. No need for us to be skulking about.
So what is it you've been looking for?
I'm looking for a cure to help my twin sister, Anne, so that she can return to Hogwarts. Because Merlin knows everyone else is given up.
Why do you think you'll find a cure in the restricted section? Does the Hogwarts matron have nothing that can help Anne?
No! We've tried everyone from Nurse Blaney to St. Mungo's. But I can research on my own. No need to concern yourself with that right now. Let's focus on what you're after. Which is what, precisely?
I'll know it when I see it.
You're being awfully cryptic.
Who have we here? Sebastian Sallow and his new little friend. Out exploring where they shouldn't be. Naughty, naughty, you'll get caughty.
Peeves, don't
I'm going to tell, I'm going to tell, I'm going to tell.
Oh, blasted Peeves! I got to stop him, or at least get to the librarian with a good excuse for all of this.
Wait, I don't want you getting into trouble for me.
I have a way with the faculty when it comes to disciplinary matters. Besides, I like having friends who are in my debt. Now go. Good luck in your search. Now, where has that damned poltergeist got to?
I know just the spell to repair this armor. Reparo. Revelio.
เมื่อกี้มัน
Leviosa.
Of course. Traces of ancient magic. Must be. That's it.
ร่องรอยไม่รู้ตัวเลยจะข้ามไปคนเดียวจริงเหรอ
Revelio.
The masked man.
Lumos.
Where might this lead?
Revelio.
Not surprising. Guards at the ready.
Lumos. Revelio. Lumos.
Oh shit.
Incendio.
This must be the way forward. But to where? Nearly there. Best keep my wits about me.
อุ๊ยได้ชุดใหม่ โอ้legendary นะใส่เลย โอ้โหยืนกันอยู่เต็มเลยเนี่ยอ๋อมันรู้ตัวแล้วโอเค
It is a book after all.
Great.
You wanted to see me? Headmistress Fitzgerald, Professor Rackham.
Miss Isadora Morganach, welcome.
Professor Rookwood, Professor Bakar.
We understand that you are adjusting well to life at Hogwarts.
I am.
I am glad. Especially in light of your unusual situation, starting as a 5th year.
As it happens, I was also admitted to Hogwarts as a 5th
เนี่ย
year.
เข้ามาตอนปี5
I've never heard of another like us.
Miss Morganock, when we spoke yesterday after class, you asked about the beautiful swirls you saw years ago when we visited your hamlet.
I recognized you all immediately. I cannot thank you enough for what you did.
We were glad to help.
And yes, I did see swirls of magic everywhere that day. My father insists it was my imagination running wild, but it was certainly real to me.
It was not your imagination.
Percival, Professor Rackham can see them too. But we've never known of another who could.
I don't understand. What are they?
The whispers or traces that appear when a particular form of ancient magic is wielded.
Ancient magic?
Few are capable of wielding it. Hogwarts itself is a stronghold of ancient magic.
So if I can see traces of ancient magic, does that mean I can wield it too?
With the proper training.
But let us not get ahead of ourselves, Miss Morganock.
Before I can train you to wield such magic, you must first master all that Hogwarts has to offer.
A magic this powerful can do great harm in the wrong hands. It must be wielded by a select few. As such, we ask that you not speak to anyone about what we have discussed here today.
ทำไมดูยิ้มชั่วร้ายหรือคิดไปเอง
Sebastian.
Sneaking in the restricted section again! I had thought we were through with this mischief. Clearly detentions are insufficient. I'm afraid I must take this to the headmaster.
But that being said, Peeves informs me that you didn't come alone tonight.
Uh-oh.
If someone has coerced you, I would have you tell me. You're a bright boy. Don't waste this.
There was nobody else. I came alone.
Oh, Sebastian. What will your uncle say?
Revelio.
คือไม่มีใครอยู่ตรงนี้นะโอเค
Are you a muggle or a musketeer? Fight me!
โอ้โดนเป็นหนึ่งจ้วง
Off on another adventure, are we? Revelio.
อุ๊ยมันน่ารักเกินทำใจใส่ก่อนเอาตาดานี่เราได้นอนบ้างไหมเนี่ยเธอ
You cannot be serious. Goblins working with Rookwood makes no sense.
It is rather unorthodox, to say the least.
Unorthodox? It's inconceivable. It's... Ah, Fig. You have a visitor. I'll see what I can find out.
วันนี้ฮะ
Sir, I was able to search the restricted section while you were with Professor Black. It was a book we were after.
What? That's... Wait. You accessed the restricted section? But how? Thinking on it, perhaps it's best you spare me the details.
Fair enough. In fact, the book was below the restricted section, as it appeared on the map.
I want to hear everything. First, let's have a look. Oh dear. Some of these pages seem to be missing. It appears someone has got to the book before us. Still, I will need time to study what remains. Perhaps we can still salvage something useful, though it may take some time. I wonder why it was here, below Hogwarts.
I think I know, sir. I saw 2 more memories where I found the book.
Another pensive. Godric's heart.
The man we saw before, Percival Rackham, was a professor here. The first memory showed him and 3 other professors using ancient magic to restore a hamlet from a drought.
Miriam was right. And the second memory?
In the second, they were talking to a student who started as a 5th year, like I did. She could see traces of magic too.
Why those memories? Perhaps this book will explain. I'll have to take it with me to London. The headmaster has insisted that I speak directly to the minister about George's death.
What will you tell them about Mr. Osric's death?
I don't know how much I dare say. George tried to convince the ministry about Ranrock, but to no avail. My instinct is to follow the path we are on for the moment and keep the details to ourselves until we know more.
I understand. I'll see what I can learn about the missing pages while you're gone.
Good. Don't neglect your studies. Your wand work is improving by the day. But you'll want to pay attention in herbology and potions. There's more to magic than spellcasting.
Plenty to keep me occupied while you're gone.
You've done exceptionally well. I look forward to seeing all that you've accomplished when I return. Oh, and don't neglect your friends. You may be surprised by how much you can learn from them as well.
Revelio.
สิ่งนี้มันสว่างแสบตาอยากได้ อยากได้เราไม่ได้อย่างนั้นเหรอ
Meet me in Lower Hogsfield as soon as possible. I would like to talk to you about Rookwood and Harlow, and it might be best to do so outside of the castle.
Professor Fig and Weasley have asked that I teach you an additional defensive spell. Please complete the assignments I have given you, and then proceed to see me in my classroom.
enemy หา enemy ที่ไหนเอ่ยควิสบ้านนี่ไงไปนี่กันไหมนะไปเรียนก่อนดีกว่าเป็นคนใฝ่เรียนเราไปเรียนกันผ้าพันคอสวย ผ้าพันคอที่สมกับเป็นเรเวนคลอ
You can't. Revelio.
Good morning, Professor Garlick.
How wonderful it is to see you again, Lenora dear. Oh, here. You'll need these for today's class. A little treat for your auntie. Ah, hello. Class, please welcome the newest rose in our garden. We do look forward to growing together. How thrilling it is to have everyone back together again. This year will be filled with enchantment and excitement, but the most important thing cultivated in herbology is knowledge. The prudent herbologist is no more afraid of the venomous tentacular than the bouncing bulb. Now then, today we will be acquainting ourselves with the mellifluous tuber known as the mandrake root. Accio.
Accio.
Let's see if we can't make our fibrous friends a bit more comfortable, shall we? First, let's protect our ears.
Mandrake.
Now, everyone, grip their mandrake by the tendrils and give it a firm tug.
Ding.แตกกระตุ้นได้จะดึงพร้อมกันทุกคน
Place your mandrake in the new pot and pat down the soil.
เราต้องดึงพร้อมกันทุกคนเลยเรือนกระจกไม่แตกก็ถือว่าดีแค่ร้าว
The soil should envelop the root like a warm, dirty blanket, putting the mandrake right at ease. Reparo! I'm very sorry about that. Yours was a bit mature, I'm afraid. All right then, off you go. Splendid work, everyone. Now, for our next task, we'll be planting dittany at our potting tables. You can all get started.
I wonder if hippogriffs like knotgrass.
I do wonder about Professor Fig. He's hardly ever in his classroom. Most strange.
ป๊อปปี้น้อง
Yes, Professor?
Firstly, well done with your mandrake. They can be rather difficult to get a grasp of.
I'll say, I nearly went deaf.
Well, yes. Of course, the cry of a mature mandragora can be fatal, so remember to keep those ears protected. Now, as I mentioned, next we'll be planting Dittany. Let us find you some seeds.
I already have some, Professor. Picked them up in Hogsmeade.
You visited the Magic Neep. Wonderful. A prepared student is bound to bloom. I've arranged for you to have your own potting table here in the classroom. Wasn't easy to spare one on such late notice. Plant the seeds there now, and you can return to harvest them later. Even with soil, sunlight, and a bit of magic, they will take time to grow.
Let's see how to balance my star thistle arrangement. Niffler's fancy
เรโนราเธอ
or
โกรธฉัน
roses?
หรือเปล่าครั้งก่อน
I should think Professor Garlick would be more careful with her mandrakes.
Dittany's restorative properties make it a vital ingredient in the Wiggenweld potion, as you all should know from Professor Sharp's class.
10 นาที
Well done! Once it can be harvested, your Dittany will be ready to use in Wiggenweld potion. I'll let Professor Sharp tell you about that. Now, what say we branch out? Introduce you to a different sort of flora, the Chinese chomping cabbage. You'll find that some plants are better suited to uses outside of a cauldron. The cabbages do get testy without something to chew. Fortunately, I have a dummy for them to gnaw on. Be a dear and let them have a good chomping.
Yes, Professor.
They're in the other greenhouse. It's just at the end of the footbridge leading out of this room. Your classmate, Mr. Pruitt, has kindly offered to accompany you. Come back and see me when you're finished. Oh, and mind your fingers. They do bite.
มันกัดฉันได้ด้วย
Hello. Saw you on your way to Hogsmeade the other day. Nice to meet you. I'm Leander. I'll be showing you the Chinese chomping cabbages. Up these stairs will take us there. But your lead.
ทำไมฉันต้องมาไม่ได้แกล้งอะไรใช่ไหม
Nice work in Defense Against the Dark Arts, by the way.
Excuse me?
Your duel with Sebastian. And he's good. Thinks he's really good. But you outright slaughtered him. It was brilliant.
Oh, well, thank you.
I nearly put Sebastian in his place myself. I mean, I would have, if Hecate hadn't stopped me.
Didn't she stop that dragon skull from crushing you?
Here we are. Home of the Chinese chomping cabbage.
เปลี่ยนเรื่องจะดี
Go on. Grab a few of those cabbages. Just mind your... Now, see that dummy? Just toss the cabbages at it, and they'll do the rest.
ต้องใช้อะไรเหรอ LB
Look at that. They'll chomp on anything they can get their mouths on. Mum planted some in her garden last year to keep the gnomes out. Did save her the de-gnoming, but they left her honking daffodils in tatters. Vicious little bastards, aren't they? My kind of plants. Not like stupid booba tubers and bouncing bulbs. The kind of plants that just have your back in a
ที่เรา
fight.
เกมอื่นก็มันปา
Not
ระเบิด
saying you
ใช่ไหม
can't go it alone, but
แต่กัดมัน
well,
ลูก
imagine that wasn't a dummy.
Trust me, Leander. I was imagining it the entire time.
You were? I mean, of course, you're, not someone to be trifled with. I see that. Dogweed and Deathcap has more of them, if you're keen. Other plants too. Ones your parents wouldn't plant in the garden. You get the idea. Anyway, we, probably ought to head back to class. Take your time. I'll see you back in class.
Revelio.
บนมีอะไรไม่มีละ
That helpful reminder as to why.
The best time to plant a seed is last season. The second best time is now.
Did you know that you can use the mandrake to defend yourself? Why, the very idea.
I tended to the Chinese chomping cabbages, Professor.
Remarkable plants, aren't they? I hope they weren't too much trouble. Oh, don't see any bite marks or missing digits. And good, as you do seem to be quite green-fingered. Oh, I'm eager to see your skill in the soil continue to blossom.
Magical plants have so much to offer. I'm eager to learn more.
I'm glad. Herbology is a bounteous subject. Tend to your garden, and it will tend to you. Well, I suppose that's everything. Do come by for a chat sometime. I so enjoy checking in with my new students.
Those mandrakes are really relishing their pots. Only cost me my damned hearing.
To make anything grow, we must first understand it. That goes for plants as well as friendships. Kindness and concern are as necessary in the greenhouse as in the great hall.
potion
I've always said that travel broadens.
Where did you get this? Shouldn't there be auras or someone from the ministry guarding the school after the incident in Hogsmeade?
Professor Black would never allow that. It would make him look completely incompetent, which he is.
เรียบปรุงยากันเถอะ
Potions is one of the most challenging and hazardous subjects taught at this school. As fifth years, you will be required to reach new heights of both discipline and intellect. You will begin this term by brewing a Wigan-Weld potion. Mr. Takar, can you tell us why this particular potion might come in handy?
Yes, Professor Sharp. The Wigan-Weld potion can be used to sterilize and even heal a variety of injuries.
It can heal some injuries, but not all. Points for Ravenclaw. Before
Yes.
today's class is completed, each of you will have brewed a Wigan-Weld potion of your own. You never know when you might need it. Please begin. Use a strong, even motion when crushing your ingredients. Please be meticulous when adding powder to your potions. One errant sneeze could be disastrous.
คนอร่อยเอ้ยอยากไม่ระเบิดหรอกเก่ง เอ๊ะไม่ของ
I
นาย
see
สี
most
แปล
of
ก
you have not forgotten how to stir. Not an easy potion to brew. Well done. And from what I hear of your recent exploits in Hogsmeade, you'd also do well to practice brewing the defensive Edurus potion. Professor Weasley had you acquire the recipe from J. Pippin's, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. For the moment, you can find the ingredients you need in my office. But in the future, you'll be expected to provide your own ingredients. Some can be harvested from the plants you grow in your herbology class, and rarer ones can be purchased. Others, however, may be harder to obtain, and will require you to be a bit more resourceful. Come and see me when you've finished brewing, and we'll see if it was skill or luck the first time around.
เฮ้ยเราไม่ฟุกหรอกเรากิน
My parents considered keeping me home from school this year after the rumors of a goblin.
Did I hear Professor Sharp say that you have permission to go into his office?
He did say that. He wants me to get more ingredients to brew another potion.
Brilliant! You, my friend, have been presented with an extraordinary opportunity. I'm Gareth, by the way. Gareth Weasley. Bit of a prodigy with potions, if I do say so myself.
Pleasure to meet you.
หัวแดงต้องวิสลี่
Are you related to Professor Weasley?
She's my aunt. Keeps too close an eye on me for comfort. Ugh. But she can't be everywhere. Listen, anyone with a troll-sized brain can brew an Edurus potion. I'm working on something that's certain to be spectacular. I'm just missing one tiny last ingredient that will add that extra spark.
I suspect that's where I come in.
You're as clever as I'd hoped. I simply need a single Fwooper feather. As you'll already be in Sharp's office with his permission, perhaps you could grab it for me.
I'll get you the Fwooper feather, as long as you're certain Sharp won't miss it.
I assure you he won't. Fwooper feathers aren't that valuable. Wait until you see what I'm brewing. Hurry back to me when you have the feather.
ช่วยก็ได้
Your potion should not be that
สีเด่นขนาดนี้ไม่รู้ได้ไงกันว่าอะไรหายไป Aura Office ปี1875อุ๊ยแว่น น่ากลัวเราใส่ไว้แล้วเราก็เปลี่ยนหน้าตามันซะ Dragon Eye น่าจะครบหมดแล้วใช่ไหมในนี้ไม่มีอะไรแล้วโอเคไป
Your potion stations organized and free of clutter.
Here's the Fwooper feather you wanted.
Brilliant! Thank you. This is going to take a moment to brew. You should get back to brewing your Edurus potion, and I'll tell you when this concoction's finished.
Proficiency in potions are two things that cannot be rushed. Have patience and be thorough.
And now we add the mallow sweet, and that's odd. What's happening? Wait, it's not supposed to. Ah!
Get it! Not again. Professor Sharp must have learned a
dragon dung. What happened?
Well done, Gareth.
ใครเอาครีมมังกรใส่
What now, Mr. Weasley?
Sorry, Professor.
That'll be points from...
My Wiggenweld potion's utter rubbish. Wish I could just replace it with one from J. Pippin's.
Professor Sharp said that Wiggenweld potion can treat injuries. Hope I never need it.
Don't fret if you run out of ingredients. I simply grow most of what I need.
Mr. Weasley did not do this on his own. His accomplice will answer to me as well.
เขาจะรู้ไหมเราไปหยิบไปทำมาให้
I was impressed that you were able to answer Professor Sharp's question about the Wiggenweld potion.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot coming from a fellow Ravenclaw. And I've never seen anyone brew such a flawless Wiggenweld potion on their first try. Well done.
I'm glad I was able to get it right the first time.
You must simply have a knack for potion making. Some students seem so confounded by potion recipes, it's as if they're written in gobbledygook. A fascinating language, by the way. Neither here nor there, really, but I am a self-taught speaker. Merlin's beard, good conversation is the enemy of free time. I must return my book, Gateway to the Far Stars, before my next class. Speaking of stars, we'll be in astronomy together. You'll love it. Professor Shaw is firm, but quite clever. See you soon, no doubt.
I brewed an Edurus potion, as you asked, Professor.
I'm surprised you had the time. You seemed rather busy helping Mr. Weasley brew chaos.
I don't know what you mean.
I'm sorry, Professor. I was merely trying to help a friend.
Taking responsibility for one's actions does go a long way with me. I shall assume that you've learnt a lesson. As for the work you did today at your own cauldron, I will say you've done well. I confess I was skeptical, given the advanced nature of this class and the fact you're a new student.
I'm glad I was able to meet your expectations.
A rare occurrence. And you do well to remember that you're not a potions master quite yet. In addition to having a solid grasp of how to combine various ingredients, you should gain an understanding of the ingredients themselves. Pay particular attention in herbology. The plants you nurture there are often essential to the potions you brew here. Now, I recommend that you find a safe location in which to practice brewing. You cannot leave a hot cauldron simply anywhere. That'll be all. I think each of us has had enough excitement for one day. Class is dismissed.
That was an interesting class.
Thanks to you. Wasn't precisely what I had in mind, but it was still brilliant. I appreciate your help. I hope Sharp wasn't too disagreeable when you handed in your potion. Heard him talking about taking responsibility.
Professor Sharp was annoyed, but we sorted it out. No harm.
Cheers to that. He probably had a good chuckle after we left. Sharp may seem gruff, but I'd bet a few galleons he blew up a potion or two in his day. Best be off. Next time we talk, I promise. Fewer explosions.
ตุ้มเติมเมสต่อไปไปนี่ต่อ
Ugh, my robes are going to reek from that.
Future champion coming through.
Hello, Lucan. I'd like to practice with the training dummy.
Excellent idea. This time will be a bit more of a challenge. Ready?
That'd be brilliant.
Wonderful. I'll set things up. Remember to cast all the spell combinations before the dummy lands again. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
Accio.
impressive wand work. I'd hate to face you in a duel.
Thanks, Lucan. You've been a great help.
Oh, stop. Don't make me blush. Seriously, well done. Training dummies will think twice before challenging you again. Plus, you'll be even more formidable in crossed wands. Other duelists had better beware.
Enemy has incendiary. Okay,
Hello, Lucan. Is the final round of crossed wands ready?
Big match today. It all comes down to this. The moment that we find out if your training and dedication is enough to win it all. Ready for a shot at glory?
I certainly am.
Brilliant. Are you dealing with a partner?
Yes, Natty.
Then let's get started.
We can make this a real victory.
That's the spirit.
4 คน4ชุดได้มา4คน
Act like a winner.
Some big hits that round.
What a victory! You've won the tournament!
It was mostly luck, that's all.
Please, you wouldn't have got this far on luck alone. Now, to the victor goes the prize! And so it is my great honor to present you with this simple yet elegant token of supreme dueling accomplishment.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
You earned it. You are a duelist to be reckoned with. Now that we've definitively crowned the tournament winner, I suppose I should get back to my schoolwork. Wonder how my herbology plants are doing. I haven't tended them in ages.
โอ้ยชุดใหม่ ไม่เท่เลย
What
ต้องไปหานุ่นอยู่โอ้300 เมตรมีตรงไหนใกล้ๆไหมต้องเดินไปสินะแบะแบะ
This could prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
It is good to see you, my friend.
Hello, Natty. How are you? I hope you've recovered from our rather eventful trip to Hogsmeade.
I am well, but I have been worried about you, my friend. With Ranrock and Rookwood and Harlow after you?
I'm all right at the moment.
We did not speak about it at the time, but I am hoping now you might tell me why they were looking for you.
They want something that Professor Fig and I found at Gringotts.
When were you at Gringotts?
Just before we came to Hogwarts. In fact, it's why I was late to the sorting ceremony. A portkey brought us there after the dragon attacked our carriage.
What on earth?
There's one more thing. It's a bit odd, if I'm honest. Professor Fig says I have a rare connection to a powerful form of ancient magic.
Is that the magic you used fighting the trolls in Hogsmeade?
I think so. I'm still learning, but I can see traces of it, and I've cast magic I can't otherwise explain. I know that's a lot to absorb.
It is. And I will have more questions. For now, it is safe to say that Rookwood and Harlow are a threat to both of us, to all of us. Which is why I wanted to speak to you. I realized something that day in Hogsmeade. You displayed such courage fighting that troll, and Serona wasn't intimidated one bit by Rookwood and Harlow. Both of you have inspired me to take a stand of my own.
What sort of stand?
Men like Rookwood and Harlow are the reason my mother and I left Matabeleland. I am not going to sit by and watch them destroy my new home.
Good. Rookwood and Harlow are a dangerous pair, and the fact that they're working with Ranrock, well...
All the more reason they must be stopped. Rumor has it that Theophilus Harlow runs Rookwood's day-to-day operations. Taking him down would cripple Rookwood's entire enterprise.
That may be true, but shouldn't Officer Singer handle someone like Harlow?
I spoke with her. She was polite, but perhaps understandably would not discuss details with a student. I overheard some of Rookwood's lot talking about a massive poaching operation that Harlow is planning. I was thinking that we could investigate a bit, try to get the evidence that Officer Singer needs.
All right. But how?
I am going to watch and listen, find out precisely what Harlow is up to. I shall reach out when I know more. In the meantime, remember, I am here if you need me.
Thank you, Natty.
Be on your guard.
I beg your pardon.
Revelio.
How dare you threaten me?
What's going on here?
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
ฉันว่ามันมีกล่อง
Archie, I don't have time to argue. I've told you repeatedly not to snap.
But you should see them, Mummy. They're beautiful. These horses.
นี่นะอะไร
That's enough. I'm too tired.
Hello, sir. What do you sell here?
Hello, I'm Jalal Semi, and this is my potion shop. I can answer any questions you have about the town.
Any whispers going about the town?
You may have noticed we have a bit of a rivalry with Upper Hogsfield. Not much to it, but we're still the better of the two Hogsfields.
Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Oh, let's see. Well, I am Lower Hogsfield's preeminent potioneer. But I was once a lowly Hogwarts student like you. In fact, I'll give you the Hogwarts discount. It's the standard price. My prices are low enough already, you see.
Standard price. Okay.
What do you have for sale?
I sell only potions and their ingredients. If you can't fix it with a potion, then it's best left broken, I say. My ingredients are all local to this area, and my potions are brewed to keep you healthy and safe.
What do you have for sale?
What can I help you with today? Ah, yes, a wonderful choice. I hope to see you again sometime.
Seems a pleasant enough little place.
I never thought Ramrock's loyalists would go this far.
เดี๋ยวมาสักครู่ กลับมาแล้วจ้า เจ๋ง เฮ้ยปลาหิน
What are you up to now?
มีเควสลอง2 ที่นี่
They must have come this way. Think!
I've no idea who it is you think I might have seen. I've been busy with my research. I do not have time to...
Victor Rookwood don't give a doxy's nip back your time. Oi! Speak of the devil. Mr. Rookwood would like a word with you.
A student? You can't be...
Enough out of you.
Leave her alone.
Stupefy!
I'll have taken your... Pay for that.
I'll watch the light go out of your eyes. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm not going anywhere.
Release me! You're going to regret that.
What on earth just happened? I've never been accosted in such a manner. And so close to Hogwarts.
Are you all right?
I am, thanks in no small part to
จริง
your
เหรอดรอป
excellent
หนูกดเข้า
defensive
ตัวปก
skills.
ติก็ได้ดรอป
Care to tell me why 2 Ashwinders were ready to dispatch me to get to you?
Ashwinders?
Victor Rookwood's thieves and extortionists, his little cronies. They seemed quite keen on you.
It's a long story, but thank you for your help.
Well, you've avoided them for the moment. Priya warned me things were getting dangerous. Best get moving on my research before they return.
You mentioned someone named Priya.
Yes, my wife. She's the one who piqued my interest in Merlin. Gave me a book when we were students at
Oh, your
Hogwarts.
wife. Okay.
Typical hard-working Hufflepuff. Brilliant potioneer. Has her own shop in Nocturne Alley. She's a travelling vendor. Hears what's going on in the Highlands before I do.
You're a researcher.
Nora Treadwell at your service. Historian and archaeologist specialising in Merlin's work and life.
Merlin? Of the legend of King Arthur?
The very same. Merlin attended Hogwarts, you know, and I'm studying some curious fixtures he left here centuries ago.
Fixtures?
These vine-covered pillars, dozens of them, all around the area. I've taken to calling them the Trials of Merlin. I believe he created them as a diversion for his fellow Slytherins. He was terribly fond of puzzles and enigmas.
I can see why you're so interested in Merlin. I'd be keen to know more about the trials.
Well then, I'll let you in on a little secret. No one has yet managed to figure out how they work. But I believe I have just unlocked a crucial clue. I suspect that Mallowsweet is an important component in getting the trials to work.
Mallowsweet?
Versatile herb. Merlin repeatedly mentioned it in his writings. I had just arrived to test my theory when I was so rudely interrupted. You see, each swirl in Merlin's writing has a symbol in the center. That started me thinking, what if...
The Mallowsweet is meant to be placed at the center of the symbols.
Precisely. Would you care to do the honors? We can see what comes of our little hypothesis. I brought a trunk chock full of Mallowsweet with me. It's just over there by my tent.
This trunk?
Yes, take plenty, even if you already have some.
I have the Mallowsweet.
Lovely. Now, notice the vines on these pillars here, as well as a stone swell on the ground. Each trial has these features. Place them on the swell, and we'll see what happens.
ปรอยไป
My word! Did you see that? The vines disappeared.
What should I do now?
This is uncharted territory. I am curious about these pyres.
Lumos.
ต้องใช้อะไร
Revelio. Incendio.
Merlin's beard!
The flames make the pyre sink.
เสื้อเดียว
Merlin's beard! How beautiful!
โอ้คราวเมอร์ลินมันช่างสวยงามจริงๆแปลไทยบ้า
I take it we can call that a success.
We can indeed. However, I now have even more questions. How does it work? I must review my notes. I may have missed something.
Are all of the trials like this one?
Oh, not precisely. Well, I think each has those telltale vines and the swirl on the ground. You should feel free to solve them as you come across them. I believe I have what I need to continue my research. My guess is that each will also require mallowsweet, which you can find in Hogsmeade should you need more. I really must be off. Such a pleasure to meet you. And do be careful out here. Now I've got what I needed. I shall return to the safety of my notes and books.
Oh. ปิ้วหายไปแล้ววักไว้ โอเค เดี๋ยวค่อยมาต่อ
I understand you're quite the enterprising young Ravenclaw. Professor Fig tells me you found a long-lost book for him. I'd like to talk to you about it.
เดี๋ยวค่อยมาต่อแล้วกัน เจอกัน บ๊ายบาย